What is scuba diving? Well, by definition, scuba diving is exploring the underwater world with the use of scuba gear by free-swimming divers. Scuba, S-C-U-B-A, is an acronym for self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, but is now more commonly used as a word rather than an acronym. Scuba gear consists of a mouthpiece and hoses which are connected to air tanks strapped to a diver's back. During this speech, I will inform you about the origin of scuba diving, the different types of equipment used for modern scuba gear, and the different types of certificates. Jacques Cousteau created the first aqualung, which was a full suit with a pressurized air flowing down from the surface and a user regulator valve. This suit was created for free divers so they could stay underwater longer. It took 3 men to operate this suit, 1 to run the air compressor, 1 to monitor the diver, and of course the diver in the suit itself. This suit was modernized in World War II by our military for our special ops teams. They were called frogmen, and they looked more like amphibians crawling out of the water with all of their gear on than they did humans. So now, how about our modern scuba gear? There's 2 different types of suits. There's wetsuits and dry suits. Wetsuit uses a water layer between the suit and the body to actually insulate the body and keep it warm. A dry suit uses air much the same way. There are several different types of suits. This is a shorty wetsuit. It only comes down to about the diver's knee. Suits can come with feet, with long legs, with boots attached, all in one piece, short. Some divers choose not to wear any at all. Dry suits about the same. They can come with boots attached, long legs, or shorts, long sleeves, short sleeves. Boots are an essential part of a diver's gear. We use them when walking around on the boat. They're a non-stick, non-slip bottom soles, so you don't slip around on the boat. They also work best when you use open back fins. Open back fins actually strap on around the boot, so you don't have to take them off, and it's safer on the diver's feet because you can wear the boots on the boat and the fins once you enter the water. They're also full foot fins, which you don't wear boots for, but they're a little more cumbersome on dry land. The mask is another essential part of a diver's gear. It creates an air bubble around the diver's face, which helps the diver equalize pressure as they ascend and descend in the water, and it helps the diver prevent their ears popping, something rupturing. It also helps the diver see under the water. We were not made to be under the water, so these lovely little gadgets help wonders. A snorkel helps a diver conserve air pressure on the surface. There's only so much air inside a tank, and when a diver runs low, they breathe the air from outside, and it conserves air. Speaking of tanks, this is an aluminum alloy tank. A tank can be made from many different types of metal. This metal just happens to be lighter and easier for a diver to carry. A full tank is 3,000 psi, pounds per square inch. The compressor at the dive shop will actually compress the tank, or compress the air inside the tank, to 3,000 psi. 3,000 psi will last a diver various amounts of time depending on how deep the diver goes and how long they choose to stay under the water. Attached to our tank is our regulator. Regulator is attached by our first step up here, and it actually screws on, locks on, and then you can pressurize the tank itself. Regulator, where a diver breathes, is a regulator to user on demand, which means that it's placed inside the diver's mouth, and a diver breathes much as they do on the surface. It's attached to the hose, which is attached to the tank, via a one-way valve, which means that the air can come out, but water cannot go back in. Divers carry a second regulator, what's called an octopus, in case of emergencies. It also has a one-way valve inside, attached to the hose, attached to the first step, which is attached to the tank. Also attached to the first step is our gauges and clocks. Pressure gauge on a basic setup has your pressure gauge and has a compass to let you know where you're at underwater. This is a bit more of an advanced model, so it also has a dive computer. Dive computer tells you the depth you're at, how long you've been underwater, If you're on multiple dives, it'll actually compute your decompression time, which is how long a diver must rest above water before going back down for safety reasons. And attached to your first step is your BCU, another one-way valve. BCU is your buoyancy control unit, also called a BC vest, buoyancy control vest, and this straps around the diver's waist and over their shoulders. The tank is attached to the back of it, and this is what helps a diver ascend and descend in the water. It's attached through a one-way valve to the tank. When you press it, it inflates. When you press it, it also releases air. If you are low on air, a diver can manually inflate their vest, which conserves on air pressure. Because divers were not made to be in water, we are extremely buoyant, and they bob like corks. Divers use weights, which go into pouches on the side, which allow the diver to stay buoyant within the water, not on the floor and not on the surface. So, now that you know some of our equipment and safety equipment that we use, how about certificates? How do you use this equipment? There are two different main certifying bodies, PADI and NAUI. Again, more acronyms. PADI, Professional Association of Diving Instructors, and NAUI, National Association of Underwater Instructors. I'm going to use NAUI for this example. You can get your basic scuba diving certificate, which certifies a diver to dive in open water up to 70 feet. You can then go ahead and get an advanced diver certificate, which allows you to dive safely up to 120 feet, again in open water, no wrecks, no caves, no deep sea. Once you have your basic or your advanced, you can go ahead and take specialty courses. You can take a deep diver course, which goes below 120 feet, a dry suit diver course, which teaches you how to dive in extremely cold weather, or a nitrox course. Nitrox is a special gas that's used inside of our tanks, and it is a nitrogen-oxygen mix, and it's actually a lot safer for your body. Your body processes it a little better than compressed oxygen or air outside. Those are fun courses, but how about technical courses? How about a scuba rescue diver? You can take a course for that, or a search and recovery. This allows you to work for the Sheriff's Department, Coast Guard. You can also take an underwater archaeologist course or an underwater photography course. Again, professions that can be used in the underwater field. So, scuba diving made Jacques Cousteau a household name. Everybody knew him, and he made the sport popular. So now that you know a little bit more about scuba diving, its origin, and some of the equipment we use, maybe you yourself will go get your certificate. Scuba diving is a life for some, a sport for others, but an escape for all of us. Thank you.